In Wyoming, you can sue the investigator that was in charge of your case for money damages. This is Christina Williams with Just Criminal Law.
And David Mann, legal storytelling specialist. So you can sue the investigator. I assume you would do that if you felt mistakes were made, right?
Well, yes. And it's not just mistakes, but did the investigator deviate from the standard of care? That is, what would a reasonable investigator have done? And in Wyoming, we had a case that involved 800 pounds of hemp that was seized, so taken by law enforcement, and the defendant, who was charged with a crime, was actually able to later sue the investigator who seized the 800 pounds of hemp.
That is a lot of hemp. So what was she doing with all of that hemp, and what's the story there?
Well, hemp is used to make CBD products, and CBD is legal in most states. And hemp is a sister plant of marijuana. They both contain THC. Marijuana is not legal in Wyoming. And the investigators saw all these plants which appeared to be marijuana, so he started poking around and ultimately had some of the plants tested, and some of the plants were slightly above the legal concentration of THC. That is, your hemp plant can't have THC that has a concentration greater than 0.3%. And the particular plant that this investigator had tested was slightly above that 0.3%. And so he charged her with a crime.
So he charged her with the crime of having all 800 pounds test at 0.3%, even though he didn't test all of those hemp, plants.
Luckily, the circuit court judge, who down in Laramie County, decided that the state didn't have enough evidence in order to charge her, and so the case was never bound over and sent to district court because it was a felony charge. And so the prosecutor's office decided they were going to appeal that lower court's decision that there wasn't enough evidence to charge this individual with a crime. And the district court said, we really don't know what to do here. And so they asked the Wyoming Supreme Court to look at the case. That's how this evolved, where the Wyoming Supreme Court said, yes, this investigator was negligent in his investigation and allowed this defendant to then sue the investigator civilly for his negligence.
Wow. Okay. And had that happened before, a lawsuit over investigation?
Well, typically, and really Wyoming's the only state that I know of where you can sue your investigator. Typically, the police enjoy what's called this governmental immunity, and it's really hard to sue the police. But in this particular case, I think the Supreme Court got it right. Unfortunately, now in Wyoming, we've got the judicial branch saying it's okay, but we have local lawmakers who are trying to pass a statute or a law which will essentially take all the wind out of this new law and make it again almost impossible to sue the investigator.
Wow. And what's the motive that the legislators have to do that?
It's really, they're just advocating for the police, for the government, for law enforcement. They're trying to get it back to the original version of the police can be negligent and you can't do anything about it because they enjoy what's called governmental immunity.
I see. Yeah, they're trying to get it back to that. And in the meantime, possibly taking away citizens' rights to kind of rectify a situation or attempt to through a lawsuit if there was a shoddy investigation done. Am I hearing that right?
Right. I mean, it's a beautiful thing that defendants now enjoy that could be taken away in favor of stronger government and less individual rights.
How long has this been a law? I mean, this hemp case, how long ago was that?
So that all occurred back in 2019, and it took a while to get through the system, and it became law March of this year. And, here we are a few months later and the legislature's trying to change the law. So that'll be decided next year in 2025, and all of the debates will start in January. And so it's, if you disagree with this bill, you can certainly let your voice be known through the legislative process.
Well, it's good to know that you are paying close attention to what's going on. And so someone might need someone as astute and accomplished as you are in their corner. And how do they get a hold of you?
We'll include a link in the description where they can call, text, or chat with a member of my team anytime, day or night. Here at Just Criminal Law, we know you only get one shot at justice, so make yours count.